Let's be seated, please. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, here represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa. The Secretary General of UNWTO, Mr. Zura Pololi Kashvili, the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Nigeria, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, and I'm very happy that all the members of the Nigerian Federal Executive Council are also here. Let me welcome all of them. The Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Ministers of State for Environment, for Niger Delta, and for Labor. Let me also welcome very specially Dr. Amani Abuzaid, Commissioner from the AU, who is here with us. I'd like to welcome you very specially. The Honorable Minister of Tourism, Kenya, and the Chairman of CAF, Honorable Najib Balala, is also here with us. I'd like to welcome all the permanent secretaries that are here, but especially let me welcome all of you ministers from over 36 countries across the continent that are here with us. Also here, let me welcome all of you members of the diplomatic corps. From Nigeria, we are very happy to have you, the Controller General of Customs Nigeria, the representative of the Honorable Minister of Defense, the representative of the Inspector General of Police, the representative of Alhaji Dangote. Let me also welcome specially the President of the World Crafts Council. Let me welcome all of you, delegates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, it is with pleasure that I welcome all of you to Nigeria at the occasion of the 61st UNWTO Regional Commission for Africa and Tourism Statistics Catalyst for Development Conference holding right here in Abuja. Other sectors of the world economy suffer setbacks when the global economy has some shocks and challenges, but not for tourism. Tourism have remained resilient. And as of 2016, tourism contributed $7.6 trillion to the global economy. And in Nigeria, about $1.6 billion. And some experts believe that is very tiny. And their thoughts are right, because Nigeria is a pulsating powerhouse with deep and layered cultures, stunning environment, magical sceneries, nature's wonders, and outstanding cultural heritages. So to all of you, some visiting Nigeria for the very first time, it is my pleasure to say to all of you, welcome to Nigeria, the beautiful. I welcome all of you. But to actually formally kick off this event this morning is a man that has worked on this in the last few months, up, dotting the I's, and crossing the T's. Let me welcome the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, to please welcome all of us. Honorable Minister, please.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, ably represented here by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, the Secretary General of the UNWTO, the AU Commissioner, the Minister of Tourism, Kenya, who also doubles as the Chairman of the Confederation of the CAF, members of the Federal Executive Council, ministers of tourism from all our 10 African countries, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, heads of foreign missions in Nigeria, delegates to the 61st UNWTO conference, heads of various MDAs present. Please permit me to adopt the already very expertly established list of protocol. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, I warmly welcome all the delegates to this 61st meeting of the United Nations World Tourism Organization Commission for Africa, holding in our beautiful, modern, and welcoming capital city of Abuja. In particular, I welcome the Secretary General of the UNWTO, Mr. Zurab Pololikashvili, the Chair of CAF, Honorable Najib Balala, the AU Commissioner, my colleagues, the Ministers of Tourism, and other delegates from the 51 member states of CAF, representatives of international organizations, experts, stakeholders, and judgment of the press from within and outside Nigeria. I thank you all for honoring us with your presence. I wish to express my profound gratitude and appreciation to UNWTO CAF for the wonderful opportunity accorded Nigeria to play host to global and regional giants of the travel and tourism industry. I recall with pride the day on Wednesday, April 19, 2017, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, when the hosting right was given to Nigeria with acclamation. The standing ovation that greeted that award remains indelible in my mind. It was the culmination of the effort that started in Abuja, Côte d'Ivoire, at the 58th UNWTO CAF meeting and marked Nigeria's full return to active membership after some years of lull. The hosting of this meeting in Nigeria would not have been possible without the unalloyed support we have received from His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. From the moment we won the hosting right, we had the total support of Mr. President. That we have all gathered here today, therefore, is to the eternal credit of Mr. President. I am profoundly grateful to the sponsors who helped to make this hosting a reality. My special gratitude goes to the government of Lagos State. Their support for us is simply invaluable. We couldn't have done this without them. I also wish to thank our other numerous sponsors, including the governments of Ogun, Ebonyi, Edo, and Kano states, Heritage Bank, Dangote PLC, First Bank PLC, Eco Atlantic City, Sahara Energy Group, Burnley Austin Peters Production, Yves Ensemble, and Transcorp Hotel. I thank you all. After months of preparation, the moment is finally here. I thank all those whose dedication and commitment helped to usher in this moment. The members of the main committees and the subcommittees who made a lot of sacrifice in terms of their time and comfort to ensure the success of this event. The theme of this year's meeting, which is Tourism Statistics, a Catalyst for Development, is quite apt and timely, as Nigeria is witnessing giant strides in development of viable and sustainable alternatives to oil and gas. With its abundant natural resources, vibrant culture, interesting history, predominance of tourist products, large population, and the hospitable disposition of our people, Nigeria is currently recognized as one of Africa's leading economies and emerging markets by the World Bank. Tourism has become an important sector of the economy for many member states, especially as an important source of foreign exchange earnings, employment generation, and income creation, in addition to encouraging infrastructural development and poverty reduction. For us in Nigeria, it is one of the sectors we have identified as very key to our economic diversification agenda. The sustained growth of the tourism industry illustrates how this all-important sector, with its added advantage of infinitude, can assist member states' economies to reap the benefits of globalization. This meeting, therefore, provides an excellent opportunity to discuss ways and means to promote intra-Africa travels and tourism, leveraging on our vast and unique resources and our number for mutual benefit to all member states. It is my expectation that this meeting will also serve as a platform towards establishing stronger linkages and functional collaboration among member states in order to realize the potentials with which the continent is endowed with. On our part, as a country, we are doing everything possible to move the tourism sector into the mainstream of the economy. Realizing that modern infrastructure is critical to tourism development, we are investing heavily in the development of infrastructure. In the last 2 years alone, we have spent an unprecedented $9 billion to build roads, standard railways, and power. The investment is shown and is showing as we have raised our power generation to 7,000 megawatts, while road construction is going on in every part of the country, and in each of the 36 states of the Federation. We are also improving our security architecture, because without security, tourism cannot thrive. As a matter of fact, 4 years ago, this meeting could not have been held here. Recall that Boko Haram carried out many attacks in this capital city. the UN complex, the police headquarters, a newspaper house, bus stations were all attacked. Residents of Abuja could not sleep with their two eyes closed. Today, all that is history. There is no clearer evidence than the fact that this event is being held here today in this city. This meeting has also provided us with the opportunity to test our visa on arrival policy, which is part of the efforts of this administration to boost tourism in particular. Many of our delegates received their visas on arrival here in Nigeria. In this regard, we would like to thank in particular the Nigerian Immigration Service and all agencies at the airport, and in particular our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who have all facilitated the inward journeys of our guests. We are also providing enabling environment and incentives, strong public and private sector collaboration, enabling laws for the preservation and protection of cultural heritage, involvement of local communities leading to the overall economic development of the areas, specific action plans, including capacity building of the various stakeholders and development of tourism statistics and tourism satellite accounts, among others. We have also dusted up and updated the Nigeria Tourism Development Master Plan, which is currently being implemented. This document aims at achieving, among others, the restructuring of the existing tourism development institutions for them to effectively deliver the benefits of tourism, raising the awareness and understanding of the benefits of tourism in society, as well as reviewing environmental degradation and protection of Nigeria's physical and historic assets. The implementation of the Tourism Master Plan focuses on institutional capacity building, product development, tourism facilitation and promotion, and marketing with a view to making Nigeria a preferred destination. In the end, we have no doubt that our tourism sector will benefit massively from encouraging domestic tourism and intra-Africa travels. After all, a popular proverb says, charity begins at home. The next few days, we'll do our best to expose our guests to the taste, sight, and sounds of Nigeria. Our rich cultural and creative imagination of our people, especially the youth, will be put on display. It will be a time like no other. Our visitors cannot afford to miss any of the shows we've lined up. Last night, our guests were treated to the performance of the Seki dance drama. Spectacular as it was, it is only a tip of the iceberg compared to other world-class shows that await our visitors. Let me also say here that we are saving the best for the last, as our technical visit to the Eco-Atlantic City in Lagos will not only blow the minds of our visitors, but more importantly, announce loudly to the world that Nigeria is finally ready to claim its preeminence in global tourism. On this note, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your kind attention, and I hereby extend my best wishes to all delegates for a successful meeting and a pleasant and memorable stay here in Nigeria. I thank you very much.
If the Honorable Minister promises you magical time while you are in Nigeria, you can take it to the bank. He means it. So in the next 2 days or 3, it will be magic, Nigerian style. Our hospitality can win the World Cup. If there was a game of hospitality around the world, Nigeria will win it. So shall we put our hands together for the Honorable Minister, please? Thank you very much. Let me quickly also welcome the representative of His Excellency, the Governor of Ebonyi State, Honorable Barrister Elizabeth Ogaba. I'd like to welcome you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on your behalf, let me formally congratulate our next speaker, because he was only elected in January this year, but he has been a permanent representative of the wonderful country at the UNWTO up to December 2017. He's an amazing man of many parts, a former banker, a former Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs in his country, a former Minister for Economic Development in his wonderful country of Georgia. He has been an ambassador to several countries, Spain, Algeria, Morocco, and more. He speaks 7 languages. Well, the round of applause will also mean that we have 3 main languages in Nigeria. By the time he's leaving, he must be speaking 10 languages before he leaves Nigeria. It's therefore my honor and pleasure to welcome here the Secretary General, World Tourism Organization, Zurab Pololi Kwashili, Kashvili. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for these warm words. It's my pleasure, and as Honorable Minister mentioned, we are not going to wait. The Commission is already successful. We have wonderful days and very interesting meeting, and thank all participants. Thank you very much. Your participation is most important for all of us, and I'm sure that united we are stronger, and we are creating a new story and new history of tourism on our fantastic continent. Thank you, dear President Buhari, represented by Mr. Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation. It's a pleasure. Your presence is recognition that tourism can be as crucial to Nigeria's economic future as natural resources. We need political will to make this happen and to achieve the goals of the global tourist community. Dear Minister Mohammed, you made yesterday fantastic. It's not show. I think it was cultural heritage. What we've seen yesterday, it was absolutely unique. And thank you to show us the beauty of your country, the fantastic evening, which nobody will believe, I'm sure. And thank you again to make it really magic and really impressive. All of us are too impressed, and thank you again for your kind hospitality, which just started yesterday. We have 2 more days, and I'm sure that every day will be more and more interesting. And as you are, we need to build tight links between public and private sectors, and for tourism to transform growth across the continent and to the benefit of the people. Thank you for your support to UNWTO and to this agenda. We mentioned yesterday that, and I want to repeat that, these days are most important days, and this is one of the most important events for continent, for Africa, for Nigeria, and for all of us, and we are celebrating every year. And again, your participation is too important, your active participation. I'm very proud that we made very interesting and unique and first project regarding how to develop tourism on the continent. This will be one of the best showcase for another regions. This is the first project we've done together, and I want to thank honorable ministers and all heads of delegation, your active participation. We discussed during 4 months, and we have excellent opportunity today to agree how to continue, how to move, how to act, to make better tourism on the continent, to create more and more jobs, because we don't have a time. We need to use all this period to create more and more jobs. This is our main goal. I want to thank also all ambassadors. I see here many representatives. I don't want to miss anybody. Casa Africa is here, who is supporting more than 9 years and this next year we will have 10th edition of Casa Africa in Madrid, and later on we will talk about how we want to make it bigger and most important event in Europe, dedicating the investments in Africa. Investments are too important for all of us, and these days we can discuss how can we make it real. The priorities of my mandate have been formed by listening to the needs of our member states. They include the crucial targets of creating more and better tourism jobs, improving tourism education and fostering innovation. These are crucial targets because the competitiveness of our sector, of your economies, depends on how much we invest in delivering them. Through listening to your needs, the specific needs of Africa, we have created our agenda for Africa. We have built a truly common action plan to serve your objectives. Its central priorities are to elevate poverty through tourism projects requested by you, to find innovative approaches developing tourism in the region, and to find and foster new partnerships and resources. We are here to listen to your insight and suggestions for working together with the public and private sector toward stronger tourism. We have representatives of Mr. Aliko Dangote. This gentleman is one of the busiest men in the world, maybe, but he's supporting and he's committed to tourism, and that's a very good initiative, and one of the first, by the way, I saw in the last 4 months. He's committed to tourism. He has very interesting plans, and I'm sure that he will be one of the pioneers who will support us to execute and to act concrete projects on the continent. Mr. General Director, he represents the company. Thanks to all sponsors, because it was really a pleasure to, and it was very useful, their support, and there are companies who supported to make our meeting so nice and so beautiful and so attractive. It's proof that tourism is now one of the most promising, highest potential sectors for improving societies, economies, and livelihoods. With enough political and financial support, we can deliver on this huge potential. This is why I'm delighted to bring this new era for UNWTO with such a meaningful and significant meeting. Thank you again for being here, and I wish you productive days ahead. Thank you so much. I forgot our honorable chair of our meeting, His Excellency Najib Balala, who is a very good friend, and I'm sure that this is first meeting we are, and this is my first visit on African continent. It's my pleasure, and it's my pleasure to have my friend chairing this first commission. First, always it's difficult, but I'm sure that we will make it easier. Thank you.
So we shall put our hands together to this amazing man. First visit to Africa, first visit to Nigeria. Not only will you learn our languages, we'll give you a few names that belong to Nigeria. And so let's appreciate him. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you. Very quickly, let me also welcome here the representatives of both the Governor of Benue State and the Controller General of Immigration. We'd like to welcome you. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, very quickly, let me invite the AU Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy, Her Excellency Dr. Amani Abdul Said, to please step forward here and talk to us. Welcome, Your Excellency. Okay, and tourism.
Thank you, my brother. Your Excellency, President Muhammad Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by Mr. Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Honorable Lai Mohammed, Minister of Information and Culture of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Honorable Najib Balala, Minister of Tourism of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of the CAF, Honorable Ministers responsible for tourism present, Mr. Zurab Pololikavichvili, I'll get to it sometime, UNWTO Secretary General, Excellencies, Ambassadors and representatives of foreign missions in Nigeria, Permanent Secretaries present, State Commissioners present, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. First, I wish to bring to all of you the fraternal greetings from His Excellency, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, and the entire AU Commission. I am indeed honored to join you today in the same venue where I was only a few months ago, also talking about very important topic which is crucial to tourism, which was the civil aviation, and I will get to that later in my address. As you know, tourism is an industry that permeates the socio-economic life of the majority of Africans. It links Africans across borders and provides livelihood to all segments of our population. Today, it is fully recognized that tourism is an engine for inclusive growth and sustainable economic development in our continent. We are all aware about the value of the industry sector in Africa. The value of the industry now stands at over $160 billion, accounting for almost 8% of our GDP in the continent. So tourism alone exceeds the contribution from manufacturing and banking sectors. This industry accounts for more than 6% of the total investments, valued at $29 billion, and employs over 20 million people, hence accounting for 6.5% of the total workforce in the continent. Tourism in Africa supports more than 21 million jobs, or 1 in 14 jobs. This is how important tourism is. So that's why we are prioritizing and making sure that to refocus and put tourism in its duly place. It is further projected that 5% of the tourism industry will grow much faster than forecasted, the forecasted 4.8% economic growth for the continent over the next 10 years. As you mentioned, Excellency, earlier, addressing safety and security concerns and swift responses to crisis by our African governments and regional institutions are paramount to the growth of tourism in Africa. Promoting strategies at improving Africa's image in the global media are also critical in ensuring the tourism recovery. During the next decade, we will continue to grow. And in growing, we know that when tourism thrives, women thrive. In Africa, more than 30% of tourism businesses are run by women, and 36% of its tourism ministers are women. Many of them are here. I'm very happy to be among them, which is the highest share in the world. Very proud about African women, and especially African ministers, female ministers. Creating firm links between tourism, the agriculture, the infrastructure sectors, ecotourism, and the medical and cultural tourism market segments can foster diversification into higher value activities and distribute incomes more broadly among our population. Excellencies, honorable participants, our priority on the continent now should be to optimize the role of tourism in Africa. Based on the aspiration of the Agenda 2063 and the 2004 NEPAD AU Tourism Action Plan, we have the responsibility to coordinate and facilitate implementation, of course, in collaboration with the UNWTO and other key partners. These include the following: contribution of tourism sector to economic growth, job creation, entrepreneurial development, promoting intra-African tourism in the context of the integration of the continent by involving cross-border investments and joint marketing of tourism attractions. And actually, 4 out of 10 tourists in Africa come from the continent itself. In sub-Saharan Africa, that's 2 out of 3 tourists come from the continent, which is contrary sometimes to perception. Taking charge of and building the brand of African tourism, Brand Africa, and the development of cultural tourism, products and assets. Promoting human resource development, capacity building, mobilizing investments, and creation of a stable, peaceful, and secure environment. These are some of the priorities of our action plan that we all agreed upon in, as I said, AU, NEPAD, and for which we are going to coordinate with our partners, especially UNWTO. To this end, a number of African Union Agenda 2063 flagship programs have been launched to realize potential of intra-regional tourism for the continent's economic growth. As you know, earlier this year, we took the bold, transformative steps to liberalize air transport on this continent. We also signed in March the free movement of persons and, of course, the free trade area. These all happened only this year, and we are determined to make sure that our continent, our vision for a continent that is integrated and unified is happening and fast, and these, of course, the developments that didn't even happen the last decades. This is, of course, because I mentioned earlier, peace and security, in addition to our initiative to silence the guns by 2020. The work currently is ongoing for a common African passport and visa simplification for free movement of persons and goods in Africa. This comes in addition to the work that we're doing in railway, road, ICT, energy networks to interconnect the continent through our program for infrastructure development. Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, as you expressed at the first meeting of the Specialized Technical Committee on Transport, Energy, and Tourism held in March 2017 in Lomé, there is need for coordination of tourism under the AU. During that meeting, a plan of action on tourism was adopted, and the ministerial subcommittee group on tourism was formed. We are planning to convene the first meeting of the subcommittee on tourism later this year. Of course, we are going and we are coordinating very closely with UNWTO and CAF. And I hope to see you all very soon in that meeting, in fall later this year. Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, we have finalized the first 10-year plan for the Agenda 2063, and the focus is now on concrete strategies for implementation. We are particularly keen to see that tourism is very much high in the priorities of this action plan, and clear indicators are set for results and monitoring and evaluation mechanisms. I'm also keen to forge a closer partnership with the UNWTO. I just met with His Excellency Secretary General this morning, and we discussed at length. And we certainly need to work together with UNWTO and CAF in order to harmonize and coordinate our plans and effectively implement the tourism priorities of Africa. I'll therefore look forward to engaging with all of you on all these matters so that indeed we make Africa a destination of choice. Before I close, as I said, I was here in November and I was talking about civil aviation. Only 2 months later, we launched the single air market for air transport on the continent. So I must say Abuja seems to be giving us, a fantastic boost of energy in launching continental initiatives. That's very optimistic from this meeting, and I hope that today marks a new or a renewed start for tourism in Africa, and that together we make sure that our continent, and especially tourism, takes the place it duly deserves. And I thank you all.
Well, viewers, you are still tuned to the Nigerian Television Authority's live transmission from Transcorp Hilton Hotel of the 61st of the 61st UNWTO CAF meeting. It will interest you to know that for about 10 years, Nigeria was...
Have energy and vibe. Let me welcome the Federation of Tourism Associations of Nigeria and the Auditor General of the Federation of Nigeria, Mr. Anthony Mpeanyina, is also here with us. Let me welcome you specially. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for us to do the special award for the ambassador responsible to tourism. And the man we are going to give this award to only a few days ago donated about 150 vehicles to the Nigerian police, realizing that there is no way tourism can thrive if there is no peace and security. It's therefore my honor and pleasure to welcome the president of the Dangote Group and the chairman of the Alhaji Dangote Foundation, who loves Nigeria and loves the continent with investment from different sectors for this award. The Secretary General and the Honorable Minister of Information Nigeria will be rising now to present this award. To his representative, the Executive Director in charge of Strategic Management and Corporate Communications, please welcome Engineer Ahmed Mansour. Today, Alhaji Aliko Dangote is having the UNWTO Special Ambassador for Responsible Tourism. I know Engineer Mansour very well. He's a soldier. He can cope with emergency situations. I'm sure he's not ready for comment, but on your way to your seats, Engineer Mansour, on behalf of Alhaji Aliko Dangote, maybe a few words to all these ministers from across 36 countries on the continent. So the microphone to you, sir.
Your Excellency, Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented here by our amiable Secretary to the Government, Mr. Boss Mustafa, the Honorable Minister, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the Chairman and President of this organization, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and gentlemen of the press. Let me first of all convey the profound apologies of Alhaji Aliko Dangote for his not being here in person this morning. As I believe he has spoken earlier this morning to the Honorable Minister, he was indeed ready to arrive to come here this morning. Unfortunately, he became indisposed and indeed asked me to rush here to represent him. On his behalf, I would like to convey his profound and deep appreciation for this wonderful award. It is indeed, as he himself said, a great honor and privilege to be so recognized by this global body. As he said, I consider myself an itinerant world traveler. as I traverse the various regions of this world in pursuit of my various business opportunities. It would be an incalculable loss for me if I do not seize the opportunity of my travels to enjoy the wonderful sights and sounds that the tourism industry makes available all over the world. Indeed, in particular, as I traverse the 54 countries of Africa on my various business trips, I have the opportunity to sample the wonderful and incredible tourist opportunities that are offered by our continent, and to observe indeed that the ones that we have the opportunity to see often are only the tip of the iceberg. On very many occasions, as I travel around the world, I have to juggle the opportunities to visit some very wonderful sites with the need to close deals. And very often, it is the opportunities to visit the sites that takes precedence. So indeed, I consider myself, therefore, a very committed, not only traveler, but indeed a tourist. And I therefore consider this honor a very welcome honor and a great privilege. In particular, I would like to thank the Honorable Minister and his team, and indeed the Nigerian tourism bodies that have, in fact, made such opportunities available for us and for our guests coming to Nigeria to visit some of the wonderful sites that our country offers. It is my hope and my commitment that the private sector, which I represent, will continue to partner with the government in order to expand and deepen the tourism potentials of this country. Let me therefore, Honourable Minister and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Alhaji Aliko Dangote, thank you for this honor and wish you very fruitful deliberations during this summit. Thank you.
The only part where you heard Engineer Mansour's voice was when he said, on behalf of every other thing he said was Alhaji Dangote speaking. And so, to Engineer Mansour, to Alhaji Aliko Dangote, can we put our hands together one more time? Thank you very much. So very quickly, let me welcome the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, a woman who has provided amazing support to the Minister and has been amazingly dynamic in putting all of this together. Please welcome Deaconess Grace Isu-Gekwe to do the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Ebere. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, ably represented by the Secretary of the Federal Government, Mr. Boss Mustafa, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to just stand on the already established protocol. It is my singular honor to thank Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari for accepting to host this August meeting, as well as providing the enabling environment for a successful outing. I would like to especially appreciate the Secretary General and the officials of UNWTO, as well as the Ministers of Tourism in Africa, for the confidence reposed in Nigeria by granting us the hosting right for this historic event. I wish to also express my gratitude to my own Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, for his immense and unflinching support to the sustainable growth and development of the tourism sector in Nigeria. Sir, on behalf of the entire management and staff of the ministry, I wish to thank you for your sound leadership and assistance in making today's event a monumental one. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on this note, I sincerely wish to appreciate all the wonderful dignitaries and invited guests here present today for honoring our humble invitation to this opening ceremony. In addition, I am extremely grateful to our sponsors and other stakeholders who made it possible for us to host this event successfully. We appreciate you very much. Without you, we wouldn't have done it. I also want to thank all the members of the planning committee that contributed immensely in making this epoch-making event a memorable and resounding success. Finally, I would like to thank the noble gentlemen of the Fourth Estate of the Realm for being our partners in progress by providing wider coverage for every segment of this event. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention, and God bless you all.
God bless you too, Deaconess. She loves God. She loves God. Let's put our hands together one more time for her. She hasn't slept for some days now. I'm very sure she'll find some rest if all of you can give a pass mark to Nigeria and this organization. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's therefore my honor at this moment to invite the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, represented here by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Please welcome Mr. Boss Mustafa.
The Secretary General of UNWTO, Mr. Zurab, the Chairman of CAF, Honorable Najib Balala. You take away the last La, it becomes a typical Nigerian name, Najib Bala. Honorable Commissioner, Infrastructure, Energy and Tourism of the African Union Commission, Dr. Amani Abdul Zaid, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, and also the host minister, members of the Federal Executive Council here present, ministers of tourism from the African nations who are attending this meeting, Your Excellencies, ambassadors and heads of foreign missions here, delegates from, I understand, from 51 African countries are in attendance, numbering about 166, plus about 26 ministers, heads of various MDAs here present, the awardee for this morning, the representative of Dangote, captains of industry, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and members of the press. I bring you greetings from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, on whose behalf I am addressing you this morning. I am delighted to address this auspicious occasion of the 61st meeting of the United Nations World Tourism Organization Commission for Africa, holding today in Abuja, Nigeria. The theme, tourism statistics, a catalyst for development, is apt and could not have come at a better time than now. Considering the significance of tourism statistics and tourism satellite account in measuring the contribution of tourism sector to national economy. The importance of tourism and its potential to national economies cannot be overemphasized. Tourism, as we all know, contributes to the wealth of nations and the well-being of citizens, largely through foreign exchange earnings, generation of revenue, creation of employment, knowledge, cultural integration, as well as increase in the GDP of the country. We are making steady efforts to diversify the economy through agriculture, solid minerals, and tourism. We are also investing heavily in infrastructure to promote tourism. This administration has injected about $9 billion to strengthen its investment in power, roads, and in railway in the past 2 years alone. Also, this government is investing in social investment program, SIP, to promote human capital development, which has benefited over 9 million people. These programs include our homegrown school feeding program that is providing 1 meal a day to 7.4 million people in 22 states of the Federation. Empower program that has employed over 200 university graduates and is about to employ 300 more. The conditional cash transfer, CCT, under which some 297,973 poor homes are receiving 5,000 naira monthly. And the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEP, that has provided loans to hundreds of thousands of small businesses across the country. The government is committed to providing public safety and security to all Nigerians, investors, and tourists. Government is also investing a lot of resources into building the inventory of equipment and capacity of security agencies to keep the country safe. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it may interest you to note that Nigeria is a country with a population of over 180 million people and over 250 ethnic groups, with each one having a unique story. And these stories are finding expression in our movies, music, and many other creative ideas. Our music and movies, in particular, have taken the world by storm for the creative young talents in our dear country. Nigeria, the best is yet to come. It is on this basis that I call on tourists and investors in the tourism sector to consider Nigeria as their second home and also a fit and proper destination. This government has attractive investment incentives for investors in the tourism sector, including but not limited to pioneer status to all major tourist or tourism projects, minimum tariff on imported tourism equipment, amusement park equipment, and materials for hotel construction and furnishing, dedicated transport for tour operators, and equipment for restaurants not manufactured in Nigeria, minimum duty on casino equipment, work permit for foreign workers with specialized skills within the industry, and lastly, land at concessionary rate by state governments for tourism investors. Government is also deepening the legislative and institutional capacities for the protection of intellectual property rights in Nigeria. This will give all investors the assurance of security of their rights, especially in the creative industry. Let me use this opportunity to earnestly commend the leadership of UNWTO, the Commission for Africa, CAF, and most importantly, the tourism ministers from all over Africa for considering Nigeria worthy of hosting this great event this year. Nigeria would continue to count on your support to host more international events, as we will also support you whenever the opportunity knocks at your door. I would not end without commending the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Nigeria, with his theme, for the wonderful and excellent packaging of this meeting. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to declare open the 61st meeting of UNWTO Commission for Africa. And I wish you a very fruitful discussion and deliberations in the course of the next 2 days, and also plead with you that when you leave Nigeria, take with you the warmth of our hospitality and the sunshine that we give in surplus. Thank you, and God bless you.
Can we give another sunshine round of applause to Mr. President, represented here by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. It's been amazing having all of you, as I also welcome the representative of His Excellency, the Governor of Kebbi State. I welcome you. Very quick announcement. After this formal opening ceremony, the Honorable Minister...
Well, viewers, you are still on to the Nigerian Television Authority, bringing you... Well, viewers, you are still on to the Nigerian Television Authority, bringing you live transmission, the 61st UNWTO CAF meeting being hosted by Nigeria. It will be recalled that the Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, relaunched Nigeria back to the body, having been absent for more than 10 years. When Lai Mohammed relaunched Nigeria in 2016, members of the body rose in unison to applaud the return of Nigeria.
Arise, oh, come by drought, Nigerians call, obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind. One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Thank you. The rest of us will just take it easy. As Mr. President and all the ministers and heads of delegation will be following this way to my right to the photograph session.
Of the 61st United Nations World Tourism Organization Commission for Africa meeting being hosted by Nigeria. It will be recalled that the Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, relaunched Nigeria back to the body, having been absent for more than 10 years. When Lai Mohammed launched Nigeria in 2016, members of the body rose in unison to applaud the return of Nigeria. Hence, the overwhelming endorsement of Nigeria to host the 61st meeting. Apart from this, Nigeria has in 2 years been elected Vice Chair of UNWTO Council. In these coming days, as the meeting progresses, critical decisions will be taken on how tourism will help in economic development. With the theme, Statistics as Catalyst for Economic Growth, Nigeria stands a great chance to develop its tourism. On behalf of all those who contributed in making this transmission a success, I remain yours, Anthony Forson, saying bye for now.